I did things as I thought they had always been done, in ways that seemed to make good sense. As a result, I made some big mistakes in my first years of teaching, and I suspect you have also made some of these. Mistake number 1: long lectures. My college and even high school experience was pretty typical: long lectures and lots of notes. When I became a middle school teacher for the first time, I just assumed this was how students learn best. I found, however, that long lectures do not work. I talked for extended periods and expected my students to sit quietly and take notes. Note-taking amounted to copying verbatim what I was saying, writing on the board, or showing on my PowerPoint. The students, of course, were not able to listen attentively for very long. They were bored no matter how interesting I thought my lecture was. The worst part was that I was exhausted. I was preparing 6 lessons and lectures each day, which required my reading and comprehending a lot of material. The students were tired too, but not from working hard. They were tired from the boredom of being asked only to listen. I didn't have a clear understanding of what effective education could be. I didn't realize the power of leading rather than lecturing. I was not giving my students activities and assignments that inspired curiosity and connection. I was just asking them to listen and remember. Their hearts were not into it, and frankly, neither were their heads. Mistake number 2: read and review. Part of the challenge for me was a lack of resources. Most of us are given only a textbook when we first start out. So what else is there to do but read it, right? I spent way too much time in my early years having students read aloud from the textbook and then assigning review questions in the book as homework. We read in class because I did not trust them to do so at home and remember everything the next day. The first problem with this approach is limited class engagement. When students take turns reading aloud, it's likely that only one student in the entire class is fully engaged. Only one student is reading, while the rest are supposed to be listening. Often the scene unfolds this way. When the first student finishes reading, you call on another student who has lost his place on the page. "We are on the 4th paragraph on page 47, you say. But still, he can't seem to find the right spot. Then he starts reading and, forgive him, he is still very young, reads so slowly that the rest of the class has a hard time following along. The second problem with this approach is lack of relevance for the students in what they read. They came away with a vague understanding of important topics and definitions, but none of it matters to them. They don't see why this lesson is important to their lives right now, and therefore they quickly forget what they read. Finally, like a lot of other educators, I kept the kids accountable by assigning the review questions at the end of each section we read. They answered the questions in complete sentences, either in class or as homework. I occasionally checked for understanding, but mostly I was just checking for participation. I wanted to make sure they read the textbook. Unfortunately, I was not as focused on helping them do something with what they read as I should have been. I didn't help them bridge the gap between what they read and how they lived their lives. Mistake number 3: busy work. I'll never forget the time our principal walked into my classroom during my first year of teaching and asked me what the students were working on. "Busy work," I said, without thinking. You should have seen the look on her face. "What?" she asked. "Oh, I mean they are completing a worksheet. It's about something we just talked about. It's important work." I don't remember what assignment they were working on, but it probably was just busy work. That is, it was likely something I assigned.